YouTube, what's up? This is your boy DJ Troy in the building. I hope everybody is good. We're going to turn up for June 24th, 2014. Not, it's 2015. New things we say, New Year's. All right? So let's get into it. Let's do what we got to do. Shout outs to all my supporters from all over the world that continue to give me all the love and all the support and continue to share my videos, like them. You know what I mean? I really appreciate it. Just continue to show your boy some love and support, all right? Cool. So let's move on. The trending topic today, the number one trending topic so far, because you never know how things might roll, is, of course, Mr. Rick Ross, Mr. Rose, Mr. Big Boss, okay? Got arrested the second time for this month in Atlanta because he apparently had a landscaper or somebody working on this new house in Atlanta, and the guy, they got into it. So what did Rick Ross is accused of? Allegedly pistol whipping I think they said the landscaper or the guy that's taking care of his apartment, taking care of his house. It was, a crazy situation. So he got arrested, and of course, he's going to the bond hearings and everything. It's kind of crazy. Once somebody commented, I think it was on Facebook, that, listen, P. Diddy and Rick Ross, they're too old. And for those people who, unless you've been living under a rock, P. Diddy also, too, got into it because, he had to, attack his son, Coach, with a kettlebell. And for those people who don't know what a kettlebell is, it's one of them huge exercising bell. And if you get hit with one of that, it's some serious damage, all right? So that's why P. Diddy was, charged with assault with a deadly weapon, because a kettlebell, if that hits you, that could cause some serious brain damage and some serious injuries. So my best to Rick Ross, again, these dudes are making way too much money, making way too much moves to ever be involved in anything like this. You know what I mean? They have too many people that they're dependent on, too many people that's supporting them, too many people that depends on them, too many people that's under them. It's just like, yo, man, there's certain things that they shouldn't be dealing with anyway. You know what I mean? They should have, a middleman that's taking care of these businesses. But again, over the years, they coming up in the game, they know that, well, yo, you give somebody $1 million, you give somebody this to take care of that, the person disappears, and you never see them again. People like Fat Joe. Fat Joe said he gave people certain money, and the guy disappeared. He has never seen the guy again. It's like he went off the face of the earth. Okay, so sometimes, it's hard for, rappers like Rick Ross and other people to trust people to take care of their business. So they themselves have to be involved with it. And, where they coming from, if somebody messed up, you deal with it right then and there. Ain't got no time for no court, ain't got no time for no judge and no lawyer and no lawyer fees and nothing like that. They just deal with the situation. So, things happen, things happen. So I respect Rick Ross, for at least trying to stand up for his rights, whatever it might be. But I don't respect that, he put himself in the situation because he got way too much money to be dealing with this, man. I'm sorry, yo. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Way too much money. Way too much money. You know what I'm saying? Get the right people around you to take care of your business so you ain't got to be dealing with these things, man. You got shows, you got, sneaker deals, too many things. So, Rick Ross, I wish you nothing but the best, and shout outs to you. Hope everything goes well, and, big ups to you, right? So, there's a sculpture in South Carolina for the politician by the name of John C. Calhoun. So John C. Calhoun was involved in the abolition of slavery in South Carolina, and there's been a big defacement of the statue because apparently people are upset that the governor of South Carolina Madam Nikki Haley wants the Confederate flag to come down. So people, this means that we still have a long way to go. There is no way in God's history that you should be defacing a statue that represents the abolition of slavery, which was a very terrible tragedy, a human genocide in mankind's history. So shame on those people that's disrespecting this man's statue. On a side note, relating to the Confederate flag, Warner Brothers has decided to stop selling any merchandises from the very popular Dukes of Hazzard TV show that features the Confederate flag. So whatever merchandises that has the Confederate flag on it, Warner Brothers is going to take those items off the shelf in solidarity for the 9 people that got shot, in solidarity for removing the flag, the Confederate flag that's flying over the Capitol in South Carolina. And again, it's been a very tragic 2 weeks. Sorry for the 9 people that lost their lives in that very horrific shooting. Sorry for their family and everybody. It's just been a crazy week. Luke Spencer, aka Gary, Anthony Gary, has retired from General Hospital after 37 years. I don't know what it's like being at a place for 37 years, being working at any place for 37 years, but shout outs to Gary for doing his thing. He was a great character in the show, so my best wishes to him and whatever else he decides to do. In international news now, there's been rumors that a politician, from India has been receiving, a politician in Pakistan, has been receiving money from India, which seems very, very funny, okay? But it is what it is. Politics all over the world is a very crazy thing. Now, WikiLeaks just released over 60,000 documents. That's right, 60,000 documents on the spending of Saudi Arabia. And I never read the documents, and also too, I think I'm not going to read them because there's certain things I think is better that you just leave it alone. You don't want to touch those things. Now, moving on to sports. Actually, there's a huge match happening today between Bangladesh and India. And for anybody who knows about cricket, if you look at my old videos, I told you that cricket was like one of the biggest sporting events in the world. There's a big match between Bangladesh and India today, one-day international, and I know it's going to be crazy because all the fans from all over the world is just going to go bonkers, just going to go nuts over this. Because if you know anything about India, the Indian people love cricket. And they're hardcore, die-hard fans. Also to Bangladesh, all right? They're hardcore, die-hard fans. So I know this game is going to be passionate. I know it's going to be a very good game, and I wish both teams the best of luck. May the best team win. For my final section, I would like to talk about the folks who are graduating in the next couple of weeks. My high school people, my high school folks. Okay, so in the next 4 years, you're going to have an opportunity to do the very best that you can to get the best career, the best jobs, the best everything. You're going to have the opportunity to prepare for that. In any event, life happens, things happen, and you never know where you will end up. But you have the opportunity now to be able to go out there and do the very best that you can in school. Good. What is critical is that you understand that this opportunity is going to come once in a lifetime. Yes, there are people who go back to school and do wonderful things, but now you're very young. You have the opportunity to do the very best that you can. Make sure that you use all resources that is available to you. Unless you have a learning disability, there's no way that you cannot learn math, science, whatever it is out there, because thankfully there's a beautiful medium called YouTube. And I'm not saying that everything on YouTube is right. I'm not saying that it's the new school of technology or what have you, but YouTube provides you with a beautiful platform where you could research almost anything, if not anything, close to everything. Okay, so make sure that you look up these videos. Make sure that you take out whatever books you need from your college that you're attending. Whatever it is that you do, make sure that you do your best to get all A's in your class. So if you decide to go on to a graduate degree, you have all the tools and everything necessary. Okay? You also need to be thinking about your career from the day that you start school. What is it that you're going to do? This journey might change along the way, but at least have a thinking plan in the background. I know that most guiding counselors said, listen, go to class the first semester, 2 semester, take whatever you want to take, explore, see what's out there, see what you like. And, then, your second year, you start to decide what major you're going to get into. I say no. I say from day one, have a plan of where you're going, of what you're thinking about, and work towards that. Okay? Also, too, there's a lot of people who go to college and take majors like pre-med, take majors like religion and these things. There's nothing wrong with these majors, but what I say, get yourself a degree in something as soon as you get out of work, okay? As soon as you get out of college, as soon as you graduate, you could get a job. Get something that has a practical, applicable knowledge, okay? Meaning that, okay, this is a skill that you could use where you could work. Okay, if you're looking into going into medical school, that's fine. But don't make pre-med your major. Okay, you could take all the classes necessary for medical school. You could take everything that you need without making pre-med a major. Because you cannot go to your employee and say, listen, my major is pre-med, give me a job. Okay? That doesn't work. They need to know what is it that you could do. If my advice personally is that if you are looking into going into medical school after you graduate, I say it's critical that you decide that, well, hey, I'm going to do nursing. I'm going to be a physician assistant. I'm going to do all of these things while taking the core requirements to get into medical school. Because you don't want to come at the end of the journey, spend whatever amount of money, get a ridiculous amount of loans, okay? And at the end thereof, you decide not to go to medical school, so you come out and the best you could do is get a job at Burger King. That doesn't make any sense. So any major, whether you might do pre-med, whether you might looking into do law, whatever it is, make sure that you take your core requirements to get into these graduate programs, whatever it is, take your core requirements. I cannot stress this enough. So that at the end thereof, you could get into your program if you decided to further education. But if for whatever reason life happens and you cannot go further, you want to be able to say that I have a degree where I have practical knowledge, I have applicable skills where I could go to an employer and said, listen, this is what I have, this is what I'm going to do.